The topic of this video is probability distribution, which is also known as theoretical distribution. So first of all, what is a distribution? So whenever you conduct a statistical inquiry, that is generally presented in the form of a frequency distribution. For example, we have some marks of the students, and according to the marks we have put number of students. So 0 to 10 marks have been obtained by 8 students, or we can say 10 to 20 marks have been obtained by 20 students. So like that we create a frequency distribution, and it is generally based upon the observed data, what you actually observed from the inquiry. And on this data we perform various statistical analysis like skewness, kurtosis, average, dispersion. We try to find out n number of things from the data. Now in this chapter you will study that we can create expected frequencies also. If we do not have this observed data, we can expect based upon our past data how many students will be ranging in this, how many students will be ranging in this. So that is known as expected distribution. So in this chapter we will be studying how we can create expected frequency distributions. So ultimately this probability distribution is going to help us in various decision making processes. So first of all, you should know that there are 3 types of probability distribution. So if we create the types of these probability distribution, so we have 3 types. First is binomial distribution. Second comes Poisson distribution. And the third is normal distribution. So we are going to study these 3 distributions in detail further. You should know that binomial distribution and Poisson distribution are the part of discrete probability distribution, while the normal distribution, it is the part of continuous probability distribution. So widely we have 2 types of distributions, that is discrete and continuous, and these 2 come under the discrete and this comes under the continuous probability distribution. So let's first start with this binomial distribution. So this distribution was given by Swiss mathematician James Bernoulli. That is why sometimes it is known as Bernoulli's theorem also. It was given in 1713. So 18 years after his death, this binomial distribution became a discrete probability distribution in which the probability was expressed as a set of dichotomous alternatives. So very important term over here is dichotomous alternatives. So what does dichotomous alternatives means? Anything that has 2 options. So either a success or a failure. So there cannot be any third option. Either a person can be vegetarian or non-vegetarian. Either a thing is going to happen or not going to happen. A coin is tossed. Either you can have a head or a tail. So when anything has 2 alternatives, so it is known as dichotomous alternatives, and either of those 2 alternatives can happen. So probability distribution, the first distribution, binomial distribution, will be applied only in case of dichotomous alternatives. Now this binomial distribution works under certain assumptions. The first assumption is the experiment is performed under given set of condition for a fixed number of trials, that is n. There will be fixed number of trials given in the question to you. So how many trials have been done, it means how many times the coin has been tossed, that will be fixed, that will be finite and given to you in the question. Second assumption is each trial will have 2 possibilities. As we have done just now, it should be dichotomous. So there should be 2 alternatives only. For example, success, failure, occurrence, non-occurrence, like that. The third assumption is the probability of success will be denoted with P. So we are doing this since beginning. So if you have to give the probability of success, it will be denoted by P and it will remain constant for every trial. So if you have to find out the value of Q, that is failure, it will be 1 minus P. So we can say P and Q both are going to be constant in the question. The fourth assumption will be the trials that we are going to do in the question are independent of each other. So every trial is independent. So it does not affect the occurrence of the future trials. So any trial, the result of any trial is not influenced by the previous trials and it does not influence the subsequent trials as well. So these are the four main assumptions on which binomial distribution works. So now what formula you have to use to express the binomial distribution? So this will be the formula for expressing the binomial distribution. Capital N, P plus Q raised to power small n, capital N, NCR, Q, N minus R, P's power R. So this is the formula that we will be using in our questions. N into NCR, Q, N minus R, P, R. In certain questions, you will not be given the value of capital N. So in those cases, we will just ignore this N also and this N from this side. This is how we write the binomial distribution formula. And this we will be using in our practical questions. Besides that, if in the questions of binomial distribution, you have been told to calculate mean, so the formula for calculating the mean is small n multiplied by P. Similarly, if you have been told to calculate the value of standard deviation, so in case of binomial distribution, the formula for standard deviation is under root NPQ. So if you have been told to calculate the value of variance, I hope you all understand that variance is the square of standard deviation. So it will be NPQ. Like this, if you have been told to calculate the first moment, that is mu1, that will always be equal to 0. The second moment will be equal to variance, that is NPQ. The third moment, if you have been told to calculate the third moment, we can solve by NPQ in the bracket Q minus P. And if you have been told to calculate the coefficient of skewness, that is beta 1, so beta 1 will be Q minus P square divided by NPQ. So these coefficients, generally you will see in the questions, this will be required and these two are most important. But if you have been told to calculate the values of variance or moments, you can also calculate. Besides that also, there are various other things like gamma can be calculated by under root of this beta 1. So for that, conclusions also for kurtosis we can give. So that is the extension that you can always see from the formulas given in your book. Now before moving to the practical questions, you need to see one more concept, that is Pascal's triangle. Now the values of binomial coefficients that we will use in the questions, so that can be readily seen from the Pascal triangle. It is very easy to create a Pascal triangle. We start with 1, 1. Just put the sign, 1 plus 1 is 2. Again put 1, 1 over here. Again add these 2, 3, 3, 1, 1 again we put. So again we will add 4, 6, 4, 1, 1. Again we can increase it. It will be 5, 10, 10, 5, again 1, 1. So like this we can calculate this Pascal's triangle till n number of observations. Now this is the first level of Pascal triangle. This is the second level of Pascal triangle. This is the third level of Pascal's triangle, fourth level of Pascal's triangle, and fifth level of Pascal triangle. So if in the question you have been asked to see first level, the values are 1, 1. At the second level, the values are 1, 2, 1. At the third level, the values are 1, 3, 3, 1. At the fourth level, the values are 1, 4, 6, 4, 1. At the fifth level, the values are 1, 5, 10, 10, 5, 1. If you will calculate at the sixth level, it will be 1, 6, 15, 20, 15 and 6. Like this we can calculate the coefficients. So now this type of Pascal's triangle will be available at the back of your books also. So I would like to show you that. So I hope you all can see this binomial coefficients. If you look at the first level left side, 1 is written, their values are 1 1 that we saw just now. At the second level, the values are 1 2 1. You can see carefully. At the second level, the values are 1 2 1. At the third level, the values are 1 3 3 1. So this table can be readily available at the back of your book. You can check that. If not, you can create this Pascal triangle at your own. That just I have shown you how to create it. Now after this Pascal's triangle, let's see how the practical questions of binomial distribution can be solved. Now this is an example related to binomial distribution. The question is, the coin is tossed 4 times. What is the probability of getting 2 or more heads? So here we can say that the events are dichotomous. So because a coin has either a head or a tail, so here binomial theorem will be applicable. So here coin is tossed 4 times, so our n is equals to 4 and r is the value to be find out 2 or more. 2 or more means 2 or 3 or 4. And here p is half, as probability of getting a head is half. If p is half, q will also be half. So q is 1 minus p, so p and q both are half. So now we will solve this. So when r is 2, we will apply the formula of binomial distribution. As we have seen, the formula for binomial distribution is NCR qn minus r p raised to power r. So the first possibility is r is 2. So n is fixed 4. 4c2, q is half, n is 4 minus r is 2, half, r is again 2. So the value of 4c2, either we can calculate with the help of formula that we have done in probability 1, that is n factorial divided by n minus r factorial into r factorial. So the value will be 4 factorial divided by 4 minus 2 factorial into 2 factorial. So when we will solve this further, it will be 4, 3 and 2 factorial, because below we have 2 factorial also, and 2 factorial means 2 into 1. So when you will solve this, the value will be 6. Or the second alternative can be, we can locate this value from the Pascal's triangle that is given in your at the end of your books, or you can create the Pascal's triangle also. Now I'll show you how to create. As we have seen that Pascal triangle is created like this: 1 1, that is total is 2, 1 1, this is 3 3, 1 1, this will be 4 6 4 1 1. So this is the fourth level. We require the fourth level. Why? Because n is fourth. So you can check this from the back of your book, the table, or you can just create your own Pascal triangle. So we need the value 4c2. Just we calculated that was 6. But we can see that value from this level also. This is the value of 4c0. This is the value of 4c1. This is the value of 4c2, that is 6. So either you can locate the value from the table, or you can check this value from the Pascal's triangle. So value comes out to be 6. So I'm just putting the value of this. This is 6 into half raised to power 4 minus 2. It will be 2 only, and half raised to power 2. So here bases are same. Powers can be added. 2 plus 2, 4. So 1 upon 2 raised to power 4 will be, it will be 16. So it will be 6 upon 16. So we can write it like that. First answer comes out to be 6 upon 16. So at the second level now we will see when r is equals to 3. 2 we have calculated. Now when r is equals to 3, so it will be 4c3 half, 4 minus 3 half, 3. So what is the value of 4c3? This was 4c1, sorry 4c0, 4c1, 4c2. So 4c3 will be, the value will be 4. Either you can check from here, or you can locate this value from the table, or you can solve this 4c3 according to the formula. So this value will be 4, and 1 upon 2 raised to power 1, 4 minus 3 will be 1, and this is 3. So bases are same, again powers can be added. So 1 upon 2 power 4, it will again be 16. So this answer will be 4 upon 16. Now the last case R is 4, because maximum we have 4 types of tosses, so maximum we can go by 4 only. So last is R is equals to 4, and in this case 4c4 half, 4 minus 4 half raised to power 4. Now the value of 4c4 will be this. So from the table directly we can see. So now this value is 1. 4c4 is 1 into half raised to power 4 minus 4 will be 0. So anything having power 0 is value is 1. So half raised to power 4 value is 1 upon 16. So this answer will be 1 upon 16. So we can directly write it like that, 1 upon 16. So now OR is there. So all the 3 options, either there will be 2 heads or 3 or 4. So OR is there, so we have to add these 3 values in the last. So you will just show it like that. It will be 11 upon 16, and this will be your answer. So this is how binomial distribution questions will be solved.